Let's talk intuition, y'all. What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. If you have a couple minutes, I am reading The Purpose-Driven Life. A friend of mine suggested that we have a little book club and we all read The Purpose-Driven Life together. I said, cool. I tried to read this book a couple times in my life, and every time I started and stopped because clearly it's not giving me purpose, but maybe this time I'm in a different space. I may receive something different. Just call my ass Jordan Peele because nope. Now, how am I tying intuition into this? I have learned that I am clairsentient, and I just know some things. I also know that I can read intention behind what people are saying. I don't look at what people are saying or what they're writing. I read the meaning behind what they're saying, what they're writing. Oftentimes, I come across knowing people better than they know themselves because I can read into the meaning behind, and it's not me implying a meaning based on my perspective. It's I can read their intentions. It's a gift. I also can read minds and thoughts, so I bet you a lot of you are out there sitting there thinking like, dang, how does she know? I just know. But I wanted to get on this book's head because this is a very dangerous book. I'm reading this book and I'm seeing all the biases behind the message that he's delivering. I get it. You're pro. I'm not going to say the C word because I don't want the C words to get on me, but I get it. You're pro C, so you're going to tell people this is the only way and this is the way you need to go. And that ain't even the problem I got with this. I picked up a book that was written by a seer, so I get it. You're going to give the C perspective. But what bothers me is today, day 3, many people spend their lives trying to create a lasting legacy on earth. They want to be remembered when they're gone. Yeah, what ultimately matters most will not be what others say about your life, but what God says. Living to create an earthly legacy is a short-sighted goal. A wiser goal, use of your time, is to build an eternal legacy. What I find problematic about this, because he's pretty much saying it doesn't matter what people think about you. He is making a clear separation between people and God, as if God did not create people. So to please people should be pleasing to God, correct? Because we are his creations. How can God want us to respect every living thing, but to please his living things, the superior being, i.e. myself, a human being? How is that not pleasing God? I'm confused there, but that's not even the most problematic aspect of this. Why don't you want to leave a legacy? Why wouldn't you want to create something here in your time here on earth for not only yourself to be proud of, but for your family and your friends to look back on and look at you fondly? Why do you want to leave this earth knowing you please this hypothetical God that we don't really know exists? I believe God exists, but you know what I know is real? This freaking life right now. This is real. So why are we living our lives to die? Part 2. All right, we're talking intuition and legacy. What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. If you have a couple of minutes, I am discussing the problematic aspects of the purpose-driven life. This is part 2. Hey, have y'all listened to that Jill Scott Woman CD? I bought it when it first came out years ago, but I never really listened to it. I listened to it, but now that I'm in the headspace that I'm in, prepared, go. And I'm making sure my body's alkaline because I want to be prepared. Yeah, that whole album hit, but I'm back on track. I left off in the last video talking about legacy. Why wouldn't you want to leave a lasting legacy here on earth? And the reason why I find this, we don't need to worry about what people think about us because the only thing we need to be trying to please is God. The reason why I find that problematic is this is exactly what I'm running into with my grandmother. My grandmother is living her life to please God. My grandmother could give a less about what her family thinks about her because she is trying to please God. I don't know, paying her tithes, I don't know what she's doing to please God. Because if having healthy human relationship is not pleasing to God, I don't know. Look, it's day 3. It's a 40-day book. So 3 minus 40, what is that, 37? There's 37 more days left, so I probably will figure out what Rick Warren believes is pleasing to God. But in the interim, day 3, how can you please God if you are not living to work cohesively, collectively, and within love with other human beings? What truly is pleasing to God? Reading your Bible and being of service to the church? People? Like, real talk, this is stupid, but back to my grandmother. So my grandmother is a super Christian, right? Ooh, I said the C word, but I didn't say it in a derogatory nature, so y'all shouldn't get mad at me right now. You're gonna get mad at me, but not yet. This is the problem with the church. All these Christians are walking around ignoring how they interact with human beings, because it's not how you interact with human beings that matters, it's how you please God. So my grandmother earning her brownie points in heaven, she has earned 0 points here on earth, because according to Rick Warren, earth don't matter anyway. We're just supposed to bump around here our little short amount of time here and not give a fuck about our relationships with people. Who cares if our kids like us? Who cares if there's any relationship there? Who cares? Because according to Rick Warren, and I'll find out in the next 37 days, doesn't matter. That's not what's pleasing to God. So now we as Christians and as human beings have all these broken relationships because we are walking around thinking that nurturing relationship and leaving legacy and building something tangible that matters here on earth doesn't matter. And that's problematic. Part 3, and then we're going to go into something. What's good, y'all? We're talking intuition, legacy, and the purpose-driven life, according to me. What's good? I'm Lonnie Appleton. If you have a couple of minutes, bit of a rant, observation. I'm on day 3 of a purpose-driven life, and it's talking about how we shouldn't be worried about what other people think about us. We need to worry about what God thinks about us. It's talking about we shouldn't be worried about leaving a legacy here on earth because all of that stuff is short-lived. We're only here for an amount of time. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, so who cares what I leave behind? That was a bar. It didn't flow the way it needed to, but it was an unintentional bar, and I love it. Bars. But what I'm saying, this is problematic, and I'm giving this feedback in my book group, and the people in my book group are like, you know what, if you don't feel this is a book for you, you don't have to read it. And I was like, look, I'm evolved enough that I could read the book and I can accept what's for me and throw the rest away. But here's where the intuition comes in. I'm not reading the words on these pages. I'm reading the meaning behind the words on these pages. And the words on these pages are very separatist. These words are really drawing a nice line in a divide, and it's saying if you are living your life this way, then you are living your life wrong. And I get it. You're a Christian. You want everybody else to be a Christian. You want people to live the way that the Christians live. I get it. That's not my issue. I started talking about my grandmother in the last video because my grandmother has done nothing to build relationship with her family. As far as I'm concerned, I'm sure she has an amazing relationship with those she chooses to have a relationship with. But she's a super Christian who is not acting lovingly to everyone. But in her mind, she is being pleasing to God. And I get it, it's my perspective. She may know there ain't no way on God's green earth that she feels that she's being loving. And this isn't picking at her. This is just saying that we are not creating the relationships here on earth, even though we identify as Christians. Even though we identify as spiritual human beings, whatever your faith walk is. If you are not creating lasting, meaningful relationships with human beings, if you are not going out of your way to be of service to other human beings, there is a difference between being a people pleaser and just being a decent human being. How can I be of service to others? Because in being of service to others is being of service to myself. And why isn't that pleasing to God? It just doesn't make sense. And I just think that this book is problematic because it's separating us from each other. Because this book is saying each other isn't what pleases God. Now, I got 37 more days to figure out what does please God. But clearly, leaving a legacy and worrying about what other people think about you is not what's pleasing to God, which is false. I don't care how you cut it. We are God's creation, so why wouldn't God want us to treat his children well? If somebody's nice to my kid, that makes me happy. Why wouldn't it make God? Part 4.